Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel and my continuing ordeal in restoring this old JVC PC-R55 boombox. Today we're going to work on the cassette deck, having gone through the receiver last week and or at least last video. I don't know if it's last week or not because I'm trying to take it easy this month, but last video on this we went through the receiver and got it working. I'm very happy with how that turned out, but now it is time to get into the cassette deck, which I have the bad feeling that is going to be the worst part of this whole endeavor. So I don't know if I'm even going to get this working today, but we're going to try anyway. Before we really get into this, I wanted to just let you guys know that the display on this thing is liquid crystal, so it's an early LCD screen. And when it comes to the LCD in this particular device, you have to be extremely careful with it because there's a ribbon cable in there, a very large one and a very fragile one. And if you look at that ribbon cable sideways so much, it will destroy itself on you. And I don't know what's got into my camera gimbal today, but I need to replace it bad. Anyway, the display is illuminated by two lamps. They're fuse style, they're 12 volts each. I've got replacements for them right here. They came from AliExpress. I just really have a bad feeling about this. I don't think it's going to go well, but I'm going to try to do my best. The transport in this is the same one, I believe, as the PCX, or the, I can't think anymore. That JVC auto reverse deck I worked on a long time ago. That's the same transport in here, I think, as well as the TDV 931, even though that one's the unidirectional version of the transport, and this is auto reverse, obviously. So we're gonna have to pull the cassette door at some point. If it is the same transport as those decks, most of the servicing will be off camera because I've already documented the transport, but whatever. Next thing we're going to have to do is get inside here and see how bad it is. So I'm guessing that'll have to come off. And because we know there's been leakage in the battery compartment, I'm expecting to find major issues with that. So I guess yeah, there's a screw missing from there. That's never a good sign. This has been into before and probably been given up on before. So let's get in there and see why they gave up. If I can get my driver of screws on the screw. I really hope this doesn't turn out to be a waste of my time and money, but it very well could, given the clear condition issues we've got with this boombox. But at least I got the receiver working, so that's always a positive thing. So how does this come apart? Is it just the top cover by itself, or does the back cover come off with it? Okay, the back cover comes off with it. Let me just open it up here. Oh, Jesus, tap dancing pogo sticking Christ. Okay, I'm going to do a reveal here. That's how bad this is. You guys are not going to believe this. Or, well, maybe you will. Look at that. I've never seen so much corrosion in one place before. And it's not even stopping there. Look at this. Yikes. I may have to go up and get the white vinegar and make myself an anti-corrosion cocktail, but it's just... I have my work cut out for me on this one. Anyhow, that's the board. It's in rough shape. Even worse than I thought it was going to be in. Wow. But with that being said, this is the ribbon cable I was talking about. I consider the LCD screen in this to be unserviceable at this point because of the sheer age of it and the fact that there are no service-related items to be found for it anymore. So If it's got dead segments, they're going to stay like that. And the lamps for this whole LCD are off this board right here. And I'm just going to bet money right now that these clips here are going to try to break the second I try to flex them in order to get the, in order to get the lamps out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that one be broken. And I'm going to break one off on the bottom there. Just take my super long pliers there. It is broken. It's not completely disconnected. And I should be able to get this board out from here. Possibly. I might have to come at it from the bottom, actually, because I don't want to disturb that ribbon cable more than I absolutely have to, but we'll deal with that later. Right now, I just got to figure out what the heck is broken on this and see if I can do anything about all this corrosion. Okay, folks, I have cleaned up the corroded area as best I can. There's basically nothing left of this trace down here for the ground. It's just all been eaten away, and it's the same story for the other traces nearby. I'm going to have to fix this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a bunch of jumper wires. That's the only way I can fix it. And for these two ground areas, I'll have to come back to here and then do a jumper up here, I guess, and over here because it goes over there as well. But man, this is some terrible damage here. Basically, in order to clean that up, I had to go in with this because apparently we've got no white vinegar on hand, so I wasn't able to resolve it that way. But there's just so much damage here. This doesn't make any difference at all, really, anymore. I just kind of brushed all the corroded mess off, and hopefully I'm now down to getting some useful traces there to deal with. Or not traces, but these solder points here. I'm going to have to just bypass all this stuff because it's not surprising at this point why it wasn't working. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up or rework this as best I can, and then we'll come back on camera and I will try to do a test power up with the bench power supply because I'm not going to curse the receiver with this thing right now. But I'll probably current limit the bench power supply to 0.5 amp or something like that, and hopefully we'll get this thing up and running. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. All right, just a little carnage for you before I get into really replacing the, or fixing this area here. You can see just how bad it is. The traces are entirely missing in some places. It's the same story up in there, but I'm getting her done. I'm doing the best I can here. Haven't come over here yet to do this part of the board, but I'll get to it. I'm going to have to reapply the solder mask in a bunch of places here, but thankfully I've got some. I can do that. It's just not going to be fun is all. Man, I really hope this works once I'm done with it, but it wasn't working before, so anything is a positive result after this. Alright folks, I think I've got this to a point where I can try to power it up with the bench power supply now. I'm not expecting this to go well. Most of these traces are still actually okay, so I didn't do much to them. And over here I was able to do some solder bridges to what's left of the good part of the traces, but there's two that, well actually three that had to be completely jumpered over, and it's the yellow, the red, and the bare one. So hopefully it'll work now. I don't expect anything much to happen, but I've got my power all set up there. There's a jumper over there just to make sure I can get power to it. Bench power supply is already set to a limit current at 0.5 amps, so let's turn it on and see. And there's nothing going on there for current draw. Nothing happening with the power switch. So there's more to diagnose here. And I shall diagnose, I guess. At least we know that there's basically no power getting through it at all, so maybe we can find this, maybe I can find this, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to keep looking and keep working on this. I'm probably going to have to pull the board out in order to find anything else out, but got to do that anyway to do the recapping, so I will continue. Well, there's your problem, folks. The fuse has deleted itself from existence. So it's a 3.15 amp fuse. I don't have that, of course. So I may not be able to do much more on this machine for a while because I'm going to have to order that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get under this board, probably, pull the transport as well. And I'm going to look for reasons why that fuse popped. I have to do that next, so I will let you know what I find. All right, folks, I'm about to do something rather risky that you should probably not try at home, but I'm going to try to feed power directly in from the bench power supply into this, bypassing the fuse. Like I said, don't try this at home, but I've got the thing current limited at 0.5 amp, so should be fairly safe, but who knows. By the way, the lamps have been changed now. They are very easy to access from underneath, so do it that way if you can. So, let's see what happens. Do we get the power supply maxing out immediately? And no, nothing there. Oh, there we go. It was not making contact. And I think it tripped out immediately, so yeah, it's maxed out. So there is a hard short or something that we have to go looking for before we try that again. Because there should have been nowhere near that amount of current going through the power supply at that point. And I'm not turning it up from there because that would do damage. So we got to look for this, and we might as well do this on camera since I am very sure that we are not going to get this working in this video. There's just too much damage here, and I have to order parts. There's just no way around it. And as for the lamps, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinstall these immediately. Then I'm going to put some red RTV sealant up here and on the corresponding part underneath to hold the lamp board back in place. That's how I'm going to do that. Okay, I've got a little bit of time before I start my evening's entertainment here with my Doctor Who and Star Trek night, because it is a Saturday. So let's see if we can find out anything. First, let's see how bad the short is. Here's the ground, and here's the thinger. 136 kiloohms. It looks like. So nothing too major, it looks like, possibly. Let's check some diodes. There's one right here that's connected directly to that fuse. That one's good, apparently. Now the rest of this is going to be hard to follow here. All right, that's good. There has to be something because it wouldn't hard trip the current limiter otherwise in the bench power supply. I think we're going to have to go to the other side though to do any more testing. Oh, by the way, you can't see that. This board here for the lamps, it's held in place well enough by the top and bottom pegs, so I'm not going to even bother with the silicone. Okay, let's see. We got a diode here. I think I checked that one, but yeah, that one's good. 2 transistors here. We got another diode right there. Well, I thought that was shorted, but apparently it is not. Okay, there's this diode here. Good. I'm looking for blown up parts too on this side of the board, so not finding any. But I want to get access to these 2 transistors here and check those. It looks like it's all right, this transistor. Yeah, that one's good. Try this one next. No shorty McShort faces there. Let's see, what else can I check into while I'm here? There is a transistor here. Did I check that diode? I think I did. Fairly certain I did. Okay, let's see. Nothing obvious on that one. There's another transistor right up here. I don't know if I can get to this one. Well, I can get to the metal on the back, which is connected inside, so. This one looks good too. Yeah, that one's good. All right, what else to check here? Maybe I wasn't just giving enough current to the device in order to get it to work, but we do have a lot of nasty brown circuit glue in here as well, and we may have shorted capacitors. That wouldn't surprise me too much. Yeah, there's a lot of nasty circuit glue in here I'm gonna have to clean up again. But so far I'm really not finding any major issues. So why wouldn't this power up? We got 2 big capacitors here. Those are going to have to be changed. But so far I am not finding any problems. Man, look at that fine little wire up here. It's nuts. And apparently this thing's got a decent belt on it yet. It'd be nice if I didn't have to change a belt for a change. Okay, anything else I should check while I'm under here? I may have to go back to the service manual on this, but so far, encouraging. Oh, by the way, you can't see that. Let me put you up here. This garbage here, that's my fault. I had left a puddle of acetone on the table, and I didn't notice, and yeah, it started eating away at that. With that said, this one is not my fault. The unit came with that, so I don't know what happened there, but it's not a 10 out of 10 cosmetic condition boombox is what I'm saying there. I'll probably sand this down and then wet sand it later to make it look a little better, but I'm not really that worried about this. Believe it or not, this doesn't look much worse than it would have if I'd owned it from new. Trust me. I was a kid back then. I did a lot of questionable kid-related things. So I may have to do the bulk of my testing off camera in order to actually find the issue with this, because so far we're not really making much progress. Okay, so what have I done so far? I deleted the old circuit glue from here. Discovered that this capacitor was now shorting on the emitter of that, so I thought maybe that was the problem. Self-inflicted, as it were. So I tried it again with the power supply, and nope, still not working. Took this off the board to see if that was the problem. Nope, that's not it either. Checked every transistor I could find. No problems found. And then I looked a little closer and... hello, even more corrosion. So I'm going to have to get access to the areas underneath there, or underneath this metal box here, and see what I can do about the crap under there. There we go, now you're zoomed out. I'm having all kinds of fun with this, but I will report back once I find more issues, if I can find more issues. I'm starting to regret buying this particular box. Alright folks, I finally got smart and remembered that this thing had an IR camera in it. So what I did was, I hooked up the power supply, turned it on, got it all working and stuff, and into protection mode and current limiting mode, and I found the problem. Basically, there was one area heating up real quick, and it's right here. That diode has failed. So I do believe I have a replacement for that, so let me replace it, and we'll see if we can get the deck working. Alright folks, so I have replaced the diode, and it has not changed a cotton picking thing. It's still doing the same thing. A lot of the power goes up through in this area, though, so have to fix that. So that's my next step. Now to remove the circuit board, there's one screw here. I think there's one more down in here. Not sure. There could be, but there's more on the other side. There's one here, and you have to pay attention to how this switch is in order to put it back properly. So, yeah, very slow going, but I'm making progress. I deleted an awful lot of bad circuit glue from around here, so there's more of that yet. But anyhow, I will have to remove this board, like I said, and I think these switches will come out with it. I'm hoping I don't disturb the LCD assembly at all doing this, but who knows what's going to happen with that. Alright folks, as you can see, I'm still struggling to get this whole board out of here, and it's not really making it easy for me. First off, desolder all these wires here at these terminals, take pictures, or consult earlier in my video when you can see where those wires go. Next, dismount both of these areas from the faceplate, and you can start pulling it away, but we've got some ribbon cables to disconnect again. And I'm going to have to do that the same way I did on the receiver, and just draw arrows towards the front of the unit so I can put it back in properly once I'm done. Okay folks, are you ready for some carnage? Feast your eyes on this. I have never seen so much corrosion in any device in all of my born days. This is 10 out of 10 bad. I've never seen it worse, ever. And I have to fix all this somehow. I just hope I've got enough jumper wire for this, because this is a massive job now. Just truly enormous. And this is basically what you have to do in order to service that board. I don't really want to disconnect all these wires down here. I could, but actually it's probably a good idea now with how much work I have to do on this bloody board right now. Yeah, let me think about that, because these are all individually soldered down, and I'm not exactly sure I want to deal with trying to put them back. But on the other hand, it would be a lot easier to service all this nightmare if I did that. I got my work cut out for me on this. Good Lord. All right, folks, here's the score. I am going to put a pin on this project for a little while, I think. I've tried to clean this up to see where the traces go and all that stuff, but some of these are so far gone that I just can't tell where they went anymore or what components they're going to, and it's just an absolute disaster here. And it's like this all over the board, like over here as well. Okay, folks, I have an update. As you can see, I've been reworking the board. I've replaced a bunch of broken traces now and scraped away the conformal coating because it's all got corrosion on it now and all that stuff. But I think I found some answers as to why this isn't powering up. And also why this diode was quote-unquote backwards. And you guys are going to laugh. And I'm probably going to make a laughing stock of myself, but I believe in transparency, so you want to see the problem? The problem is this. I had the leads backwards on the frickin' bench power supply all this time. I knew it had to be something stupid like that, and sure enough. Anyway, I think I've just about done everything on this board I can. I've verified the whole thing. All the traces are good, that I have not jumpered. So I'm thinking maybe I put this back together now and see if it actually does power it up when I, hook it up the right friggin' way. All right, it is back together and it is still not powering up. I'll show you what happens with the power supply. Get a brief amount of current running up there, but it's not able to power up. So much more diagnosis needs to be done on this before it will power up, if it ever will anymore. I just don't know about this, guys. I'm not really even sure I want to continue on this box the way this is going. But at least now I know why the heck the current draw was so high earlier. It's because I had the frickin' leads backwards. Some days you just can't win. Other days you're just an idiot. Today I guess I'm the idiot. Well, as far as this thing goes, I think I'm waiting on fuses anyway. I don't want to work on this anymore this week, if not even this month. So I'm just going to put this to the side and come back to it at a later date. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.